Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Lifeway Zoom call. My name is Mandy, and I am a brand partner with Lifeway. Have been for about 6 months, been patching for about 6 months. And we just want to welcome everybody to the call. We really appreciate your time, and really hope that the presentation is going to be helpful. So the first question we always ask at this point, or any point for that matter, I kind of have taken this on to anybody that you meet. You ask them whether they've been patched yet. And the reason why we ask that is because the patches elevate, activate, and regenerate stem cells, which is such a powerful thing and such an amazing technology. And obviously, before we can go any further, we have to stop and talk about David Schmidt, who is our CEO and the inventor of X39. David has over 130 patents at the moment. He is not a medical doctor. He is a scientist and inventor that specializes in age reversing. All his research specializes in age reversing. In 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research, along with a large portion of the world. Actually, that's when it sort of became something that people started to focus their attention on. And the recent patent of X39 took 10 years and $4.5 million to bring to market, which is no small feat. And we are very, very grateful for the technology. So patented technology really is something that before a patent is issued, you have to prove that the product does what the patent says that it will do. So a portion of the patent document says that as a result of elevating copper peptide, including the activation of stem cells, improvement in energy, elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen, numerous benefits that are actually listed in this patent, so therefore have been proven leading up to the issuing of that patent. So why an X39 stem cell activation patch? Why is this patch so important? So the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower your body is able to heal. Um, Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging. And this I didn't know, which I found was incredibly interesting. At the age of 30, only half of your stem cells are actually active, which kind of puts you at middle age when you are 30, which is quite a thing. At age 60, you lose almost all stem cell activity. So that is why it takes longer to heal. Your body, you feel the aches and pains. If you've got a child or a grandchild, when they fall, they have a little cry, you kiss it better, and off they go. But we have a fall as we get older, and it takes so much longer for our bodies to heal, and that's because of stem cells. Stem cells are basically like the master key to the locks in all your room. They become whatever your body needs them to become in order to heal. So X39 is a proprietary form of phototherapy. So we are very familiar with phototherapy. Infrared lights is phototherapy. We know that the sun, going out in the sun activates vitamin D in your body. There's no vitamin D in the sun, but there is your body activate. That's how our bodies have been created. So that little white patch that you see on the patch, the little white circle, that's patented nanocrystal technology. That's micro or nano amino acids, salts, sugars that create little nano mirrors that reflect the light back into your body that then activate your body to rejuvenate itself. So there's nothing in that patch that goes through into your skin. So it's non-transdermal. There's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants in that little patch, and it's non-invasive. We need to also just always bear in mind that Lifeway products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any illness or medical condition. The benefits, like we saw in the patent, and majority of us that have been patching for any length of time have experienced one, if not all of these. So, increased strength, mental clarity, that brain fog that goes is amazing. Reduced inflammation, restored muscle or skeletal conditions, increased stamina, improvement of sleep, energy and vitality, improved skin appearance, and basically just achieving an optimal state of health, of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So, this is a very interesting study. A topography map is basically like a photo of your brain. And this is a photo of a 77-year-old woman who placed X39 on the back of her neck. So in session one, you can see her brain, the red and the orange, that's inflammation. Her brain is highly inflamed. There's lack of brain coherence. Um, After only 3 weeks of wearing X39 in the back of her neck, there's no more inflammation, there's improved brain coherence. And then on session three, 6 weeks after X39, there's a complete turnaround. There's better brain coherence. Um, it can be noted that when she came in, her brain was hyperactive. Her brain calmed down dramatically at the second visit. And after wearing X39 patch for 3 weeks, and then her brain remained calm after wearing the patch for 6 weeks. So the X39 long-term results, and this is per case studies that can be found on, this is at info.com. Incredible website with a wealth of information. After wearing the patch for the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes more balanced, as we've just seen. Within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And collagen obviously is we know hair, skin, but it's much more than that. Though. Collagen is like a building block for your body. So bones, muscles, sinew, all of that rely on collagen to be strong and healthy. Within 6 months, your heart begins to reverse in age, which is absolutely incredible. And David Schmidt has said that this is not anti-aging technology. This is age reversing technology, which the minute you hit 50, you want to see where that reverse gear is. So how do we wear X39? So you wear your patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off. And the reason why we have it for 12 hours off is so that your body can begin to repair and rejuvenate itself. So it activates and then your body kicks into actually doing that itself. Then we throw the patch away and we put a new patch on the following morning. So I always say to people, put it on at 7 o'clock, take it off at 7 o'clock, 7 to 7. It's quick, it's easy to remember. You can wear more than one patch at a time. And what we mean by that is that LifeWave has other supportive patches, which you can ask your sponsor about or the person that invited you to the call. Incredible patches. But for the purpose of tonight, we're focusing on the X39 technology. And then the other thing that is very important, and with this, I saw a marked increase when I started to add electrolytes to water. And it doesn't have to be a fancy electrolyte. It can be just a couple of grains of Celtic salt. It can be the other electrolytes. There's many wonderful ones on the market. But when you're hydrating properly, you really see the full benefit of the technology. And like we've seen now, X39 is incredibly sophisticated, and yet it's so easy to explain. And the testimonies of X39 are really life-changing and emotional. And really, the best thing about X39 is that it absolutely works. And yeah. that's really there's always so many testimonies. You can talk for days and days and days about people's experience, and it's really incredible. My sister was just talking to me now. She had a massive back up, and the cage wasn't adhering, and her back was crumbling after the cage. She's been patching now with Eon and X39 for 6 weeks, and we added X49 a month ago, and she went to the doctor today and had a scan, and her cage is adhering, and her bones are like noticeably stronger, and that's really like 3 months, not even 3 months. So that's how exciting it is when you see people's lives change. It's such an incredible privilege.
Mandy, that's an incredible testimony because we see that so often with bones, but when it's your own sister and you
Yeah.
got the scans and
I
things.
just I just burst into tears. I mean, I really just I was so grateful because she really, really has struggled. And I said to her, "You've had when she had the last scan, you've had a scan now. Let's start patching." And they've seen a difference in the scan. So that's really, really I'm so grateful for that.
So while we're talking about bones, Jenny has an incredible bone story too. I'm picking on Jenny every time she's on a call now.
Well, let that be my lesson. Yes, so talking about bones, I had osteoporosis about 4 or 5 years ago, and 8 months into patching, I had my bone density test done. I wasn't expecting anything marvelous, but in actual fact, I have reversed and I'm now osteopenia. And I'm 1 point short of being completely out of osteoporosis at all. So it works on a point, but the points are significant. I mean, that's incredible. I'm sure with continued use, my bones will be completely healed, and that's the hope that I know that I can give people who have osteoporosis, because that's like a whole lot of ailments that are a dead end. There's no hope for you. Well, as they say, the doctors lied. We've got hope. Yeah, and my pain was so severe that I used to go up the stairs sideways, because just the normal walking up and down the stairs was too much jarring on my lower spine and my left hip. And that's completely gone. I have no pain there. Sometimes a bit of lower back pain if you're doing like bending over a lot, but nothing. That's just normal age, I think. But yeah, that's incredible.
Wow. Incredible.
Thanks, Jenny. Jacqueline, would you like to share your story?
Yeah, fine. So, yeah, straight to the point with patching. I found out about it from Adrian. He's not here tonight, but that was because we were both dancing. We didn't even know each other could dance so well at that point. Anyway, then he said, "Hey, have you seen these little things?" And that was my introduction to the patching. And I looked at it and yeah, this is amazing. Stem cells, wow. So the first thing that happened for me, I think he told me, it might be like 3 months or something before you notice things. So don't have too huge expectations. But after just 2 weeks, my sleep had a new quality to it that I don't remember ever having, such a depth to it. It was amazing. And then various other little things got better, sort of mini pains in my tummy, which are kind of stress related, a little bit dry eye, that sort of sorted itself out. My hair is thicker now. My skin is so soft that it's quite amazing. And then for me, the most important thing is that I discovered if I have X39 and 49, wear them at the same time, my resilience to electropollution is just, it's wonderful. I used to get anxious about the airports. Airports are just crazy for the amount of EMF that's there now. And but I found if I was wearing the 39 and the 49, I could go through the airports and be okay. Yeah, didn't get that horrible feeling of too much electropollution. So
Fantastic, because it gives you a whole new freedom.
yeah, absolutely. So
Because you battled quite a lot with it, didn't you?
I did. I found it quite restrictive. And I have my phone is only for like text and phone. It's not as it is a smartphone, but I have that switched off to smart mode. And yeah, so and I'm managing to do a lot more on online, on my laptop than I used to be able to. So
You
yeah,
can.
yes, join more Zoom calls. Yeah, fabulous. Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing. Connie, do you have anything to share? How long have you been patching for?
Thank you, Mel. It's now, I think it's 2 weeks. So for me, I was beginning for some odd reason to have some sort of inflammation, so much so that my small finger was like, is it swollen? It was developing into arthritis, kind of. So it's gradually getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Literally, like every day I'm checking, I'm like, the size is beginning to look normal because the knuckle was thick. It was a little bit raised. Yeah, it was quite sore. And sometimes in the mornings when I woke up, I would wake up with my fingers feeling like they are bruised, which of course we know it's inflammation, which I wouldn't know where it came from, when you think you eat healthy and all that. But I mean, these things happen. But really, everything is subsiding. And on the very first week, few days after using at work, they complimented my skin that it's glowing even more. Yeah. So those are the small basic things. And also I sleep very well. I'm already a heavy sleeper, but now I sleep very well, more than before. Yeah. So I just have a quick question, and thanks to Jenny and Jacqueline for their sharing their testimonies. I have someone who asked if there's anything that we can recommend for a sciatica nerve.
I'll talk to you afterwards. Because I would
Okay.
always do X39, but for sciatic, you can patch with Ice Wave. Okay, but I'll tell you afterwards exactly how to do it.
Thank you, ladies.
Perfect. Thanks so much. And it's so exciting that only 2 weeks in, you're already seeing results. So some people see results really quickly, other people it takes longer, and sometimes we don't even know where the healing is happening. So I know that in the first 4 months, my thyroid improved, and I only know it because I do my thyroid test every year because I have an underactive thyroid, so I take medication. But in the first 4 months, it was my yearly blood, and it improved so dramatically that we could halve my medication. Well, my doctor could halve my medication because obviously I didn't halve my own medication. But that was very dramatic, and there it was in the bloods. We see it a lot. There are a lot of brand partners in the team where we've seen kidney function improve in the blood tests, where their endocrinologists, their doctors are amazed. So people who were heading towards dialysis who are no longer heading towards dialysis, and they say kidneys can't be repaired. I started patching because I had a shoulder injury, and from 2012 I'd had issues, and I saw a very remarkable improvement in the first week. But I can tell you that it's like peeling the onion. I'll improve and then it'll stay there, and then I'll go back into pain or trauma. I'll have to go back to my chiro. I'll do the next level. And I think December last year was sort of the last level of it. And my shoulder now feels like I've never had an injury. So it's amazing, but it did take 2 years. My husband, who is a very skeptical engineer, he had pyorrhea, which is a hereditary gum disease. Now, he didn't expect that that was healing. I thought when we started patching, it was going to work for his tinnitus, which has improved somewhat, not completely. We've been patching since December 2022. And the fact that he had inflammation in his knees. He's had a cartilage op, so he has some issues with his knees. And interestingly enough, in January, he went to his dentist, and his dentist said to him, "This is very interesting." And he's like, "Well, what's very interesting?" He said, "There is no trace of the pyorrhea. It's gone completely." Now, that shouldn't go because it's hereditary. He's known he's had it since he was a teenager. So, and we used to control it with all kinds of things. So even conditions that you've been told can't go can actually go when your stem cells are activated. But we never know how long they're going to take because he goes to his dentist regularly. And it was only in January that his dentist noticed, and he'd actually been there towards the end of last year because he'd had some other work done. He was there in January again because he'd actually cracked a veneer because he used to grind his teeth, so he's very, thin teeth. So that was really interesting, and it just shows you don't know where the healing's happening. So sometimes people will think, well, I've got whatever the issue is, and it's not healing, but the body knows better than we do what needs to heal first, and that's where the healing's going to go. So let's go on to Mandi's last slide. And there we go. You need to unmute, Mandi.
My apologies.
No problem.
I said before that this is at info.com is an incredible website. And everything that you need to know about the patch, about the technology, about the studies, about the patent is there. Wonderful, wonderful website that Steve and Gina Merritt have put together. So take a screen grab of that or a photo and have a little visit. You'll be very, very inspired.
Thanks so much, Mandi. It was an amazing presentation. Okay, so I didn't introduce myself at the beginning. My name is Merle, and I live in Durban. I started patching in December 2022, and I was never going to work LifeWave as a business. When I started, we didn't have presentations like this in South Africa. I didn't even know there was a presentation. I just watched David Schmidt talking to healthcare professionals, and you'll find an abbreviated version of that talk on This Is It info. Okay, so it's about the third, I think it's about the third video that you'll find there. And on that, I joined and I said to Candace, who signed me up, I'm never working this as a business, so forget about that, but I'm going to patch, I'm going to patch my husband. Well, we saw results, and then I told a friend because she also had a shoulder issue and she'd phoned me to complain about it. And then in the January, one of my clients signed up. So I have spent 30 years in complementary healing. I'm a life alignment therapist and teacher, and I'm a nutritionist. So for me, the technology made perfect sense, but I was never going to build this as a business. Well, 2.5 years later, I hold the top rank in the company, and I am completely invested in the company and LifeWave as a business because I know that the more people we can reach, the more people's lives we can change. And for me, that was what was important. It was seeing the healing happening, and the rest kind of came naturally. So when I decided, which was sort of the February 2023, that I was actually going to tell people about LifeWave, and it was because a long-time client of mine had started patching. She was the third person who started patching under me, and I had signed up a very good friend of hers. Karen had been my client for years, but she had had a car accident when she was a student. She had what's known as an internal decapitation or a hangman's injury, and it took them 5 years to discover her skull wasn't attached to her spine. When they did discover it, she had surgery to reattach, and all that scar tissue and all the damage that had happened meant that when she started patching at the beginning of 2023, she hadn't driven a car in 12 years. She barely left home. She could not really even go out for a meal with friends. She's in Spain at the moment. It's her 4th international trip since she started patching. Within 5 weeks, she was driving her husband's car. Not everybody has such fast results, but her results have been absolutely incredible, and they just keep getting better. So she's living a life that she hasn't lived since her accident, really. So because of her, I started telling others. And when I started telling people, I thought, well, I better have a look at this company because how ethical are we? What do we do? All of those sorts of things. Well, we now open in over 80 countries, not 75. We turned 21 in November this year. So we're 20 years old at the moment, but nearly 21. And in 2021, which is the year after X39 came to market, it was patented in 2020, so we've got 15 years left on the patent. The company turned over 20 million. 2022, Steve and Gina Merritt joined the company in July, and I like to say they put a plug-and-play system into place, which meant that people could duplicate what they were doing. It also meant that we weren't only relying on supplementary patches, which mainly required people who were already in healthcare to tell people how to patch because there were protocols. It was easy. You just took an X39 patch and you stuck it on your neck or where you've got pain or on your arm, also there's a patch. Okay, so you just took a patch and you put it on your body, very easy, and the healing started happening. Usually we wear them behind our neck. This is actually an Eon, but I was just showing you what it looks like. Anyway, so Steve and Gina came in and the company started accelerating. We did 320 million. In 2023, we did over 430 million. In 2024, we did over 600 million, and we're on track to do over $1 billion this year. And it's only because X39 works. We also ranked as the #1 momentum company on businessforhome.org, which is an American website that lists multi-level marketing companies according to how ethical they are, how they pay their brand partners, all of those kinds of things. And it's not owned by any company. So it's completely independent. So you know that what you find there is a true reflection of what's happening in the industry. So last year we won the 2024 Global Bravo Award for the #1 growth company in network marketing. And on the right-hand side, you can see Meredith Burkich, our president, with some of her corporate team. On the left-hand side, extreme left, is David Schmidt. Meredith is there along with Steve and Gina Merritt, and Meredith is in the skirt. So that was 2024. This year, we won the award again. So 2 years in a row, we've been the #1 momentum company, and that's just because of X39 and because of David Schmidt and the incredible things that he does. That's a team event, but this is a team because Steve and Gina put incredible training into all of the brand partners who are in their downline. So what is the most important thing in your life? We always ask that at this point of the presentation. Is it your family? Do you need more time freedom, time to spend with them? Because so many people are on just a little treadmill and they're working all the time just to make ends meet. Are you looking for security? What about travel? Because LifeWave has the most phenomenal trips. Are you looking for better health? For me, when I joined, it was all about better health. Or what about less debt? And I joined for the health, but thanks to COVID and living in South Africa, my husband hadn't worked the whole way through COVID. He's a civil engineer, and the job that he was running was stopped, and he had his own business, so he didn't earn the whole way through COVID. We were in a huge amount of debt, and I didn't know how we would ever get out of it. And 2.5 years later, we are completely debt-free. So what about our compensation plan? We have an incredible compensation plan. The company rewards us really well for spreading the news about LifeWave. And at the moment, we get paid 4 ways. Our compensation plan is being enhanced, and they are adding another 5 streams of income to brand partners. So we'll soon be earning 9 ways instead of 4. So if you're on the presentation tonight and you think, well, I never want to be a brand partner, I never want to tell anyone, well, that was me, but I signed up as a brand partner in any case, and I'll tell you just now why I did that. You could become what's called a preferred customer. So preferred customer gets wholesale price, so the same price as brand partners get. You just have a monthly recurring order, and the person who introduced you will get some commission off that, but you're getting wholesale as opposed to retail. If a chiropractor, doctor, a pharmacy sells the patches over the counter, they have to sell at recommended retail price. So the cheapest way to get patches is through a brand partner. Now, we do something called a binary, which means that we put one person left, one person right, and we just carry on like that. The team that you are put onto, the people who are above you in the team, as they add people, they trickle down below you. So we say it's like those champagne fountains that they used to have at weddings or 21st or any kind of celebration where you have all those round champagne glasses. You pour the champagne at the top and it spills over, comes to the bottom. That happens on one of the legs, so the leg that you're placed on. So you get benefit of volume from people that you don't know. So we like to build teams. So you build a left team and a right team. So if you come into LifeWave and you put 2 people left and 2 people right, and you have 300 lifetime volume yourself, then you become what is known as a manager. And the person who invited you to the call can explain it in more detail. And that opens up the whole team commission. Now, the team commission is capped weekly from the binary at $25,000 US, and the same capping is going to apply on the new compensation plan. Now, we also have something called matching bonuses, and matching bonuses are unlimited. So matching bonuses are a reward for helping the people you bring into the business and the people they bring in and the people they bring in to succeed. So if I had signed Mandi up and Mandi earned $1,000 in a week, I would earn 25% of that, but not of Mandi's money. She would still get her $1,000, and this is off the binary. But the company would give me $250 and say, Merle, you've done a great job helping Mandi succeed, so here's a reward. And then if Jenny was under Mandi, then Mandi would get 25% from everything Jenny did, and I would get 20% because she was my second line. And if Jacqueline was the third line, then I would get 20% from her. Jenny would get 25, Mandi would get 20. So that's how matching bonuses work. Now, how do you come into LifeWave? I always say you come in where you fitted, so you can come in as a customer or you can come in as a brand partner. So I came in on call because David Schmidt says everybody should patch for 90 days to make sure you've given your body a chance to see results. Now, some people don't see results in 90 days, and it doesn't mean the patches are not working. It means they're working on something that you cannot see. So core is $295. You can get 3 sleeves of X39, or you can replace any one sleeve with 2 sleeves of our supplementary patches, but the person who invited you to the call can help you and guide you in that respect. So then you can upgrade at any time. So I was then going to upgrade to advanced, which I would just pay the difference and get the difference in product. If I knew what I knew now, I would have started on advanced. Advanced is $535 US. It gives you 6 sleeves of X39. So you can see already you're getting a really nice discount. And you can go manager if you're on advanced. Or you can be on premium. So premium is for the serious entrepreneurs. It's $1,750. You get 20 sleeves of X39, so it drops the price to $87.50 a sleeve. It also keeps you active for 3 months. My local pharmacy are part of my network. They patch patients mainly for inflammation and pain in their clinic. And the pharmacist was very skeptical. So the nursing sister signed up first. And it took a few months before Pauline, the pharmacist, signed up. She came in on call. Within the first week, I think she phoned me every day to tell me the amazing results they were having. And within the first week, she upgraded to premium because she knew that core was not enough product for what she needed. 2 years later, they're still patching patients, and they've had to employ a second nursing sister who's invested in patching and knows how to patch, because they have queues of people every single day coming especially for pain management. So it's quite phenomenal. And they have permission from LifeWave to sell, but they have to sell at retail price. So once you're in the business, staying active is important. So if you had a florist shop, you would have to sell flowers. So on LifeWave, patches is what we have to buy. But the company doesn't make you buy masses and masses of product. In fact, I don't sell product at all, or keep product to sell. So until you're a manager, you only need 1 sleeve of patches a month to stay active. Once you're a manager, you need 2 sleeves of patches a month to stay active. So it really is not very much product that we're expected to have at all. Now, Mandi told you about thisisatinfo.com, which is an incredible site and well worth visiting. We also have thisisateam.com. Thisisateam.com is your guideline to building a business. So everything you need to know is there, from how you sign a brand partner up, how you set up your e-wallet, the compensation plan. There's several webinars explaining it, how to phone people and invite them to calls. It's all there. How to build a business. Everything you need is there. So if you think about LifeWave as buying a franchise, you're only paying for the product, but you're getting a business package because you get a website as you sign up, and you can basically take off straight from the beginning and build a business. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? There is hope for your future, and it really is all about getting started with X39. So thank you everybody for being on the call this evening, and thank you, Mandi, for presenting with me. Okay, now that I have stopped recording, let's talk about, or Connie, about the sciatica. So Connie, sciatica, the best thing to do with your sciatica is to use IceWave. And they put the tan patch, because your IceWave is a 2-patch system. So you get 15 tan, 15 white. Put the tan patch on the point of pain, so wherever the sciatica starts. And then on the same foot as the sciatica is on, between the big toe and the next toe, on the, like the bit in between. So like, my hand, I'm showing you my hand, it's easier. You put the white patch.
Mm-hmm.
And that generally is one of the best ways to patch for sciatica. Jacqueline, do you have experience with sciatica?
No, I don't. But I have a fabulous story about a dancer.
Love to hear.
Put my food down there, hang on. Sorry, I'm just eating my dinner at the same time. Yeah, I was working as a therapist at a dance event. It was a whole weekend. And a woman came along, and she had had pain in her foot for years. So it gets to like midnight and she just can't stand it anymore. She loves dancing as an addiction, really. And anyway, I said to her, at that time I was relatively new and I'd learned about the ice wave patches, but I don't have any pain, so I couldn't really try it out on myself or anything. So I asked her if she would be my guinea pig. And she was happy to do that. So we did it. It's a little bit different to what you've just described to Connie, but again with the two patches and getting the right position so that it actually works. And I said, okay, well, where's the bit in your foot that hurts most? And I put the tan patch there. And then I said, I'm going to try different positions and we'll see where the best is, the one that's most effective, if it works, because I hadn't tried it out at all before. So I put the tan patch on the worst pain point. Then about 3 inches away, I put the white patch, and I said to her, just feel, is there anything change? Maybe very minimally. It's okay, that's fine. I'm going to move the patch. So I started really at like 12 o'clock from the brown patch, and then I went at 3 o'clock, and she said, okay, that is a bit better. If my starting point was 10 on a pain score, then now it's about like maybe an 8. So she was reasonably happy with that. Like years of pain, right? I said, okay, let me try the next position. So I took the white patch and I put it now in the 6 o'clock position compared to the brown one, tan one. And that was wonderful. I wish I had videoed it. Her face. Kind of like all these. And then I said, get up and move around. So she did. And she said, this is amazing. She said, if I stand with my weight equally on both feet, both legs, I have no pain at all. And if I put my weight fully on the bad foot, it's about a 2. So, I mean, that was amazing. Both of us were like stunned and excited about it. And she was happy with it. I said, well, let me try. I want to try the next position. We've got 4 positions to try. I want to try the next one. So I took the white patch off the 6 o'clock position and I put it on the 9 o'clock position. And she went, no, that's not good. That's not good. Straight away, like the pain had come back. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how they work at all, but magic is definitely in there if you get it right. So so we put it back, of course, on the 6 o'clock position, and off she went for the evening. And at midnight, I was on the dance floor and I saw her and she said, oh my goodness. She said, tonight, my husband kicked me while we were dancing. As an accident, yeah. She said, normally that would have been just horrific. I would have had to go straight up to my room. That would have been the end of everything. She said, but here I am still dancing. So that was wonderful. And I've got other stories with ice wave patches as well.
It's fabulous.
Yeah.
We should record
Amazing.
those, Jacqueline. We need to record you talking about ice wave stories and your dancer. That is so exciting. Love it.
As I say, I wish I had videoed it. I had no idea that it really would be so dramatic. But yeah, I've got other stories. But that was the most dramatic, and especially because it was the first time, and I was as excited as she was to see this amazing effect.
Oh, that's very exciting. But Connie, it really is. If you ask Nori to send you the little videos of how to use Ice Wave, I know that at the pharmacy they have a lot of results with sciatica doing what I've just told you. They've done it multiple times. Also, when you use Ice Wave, it's a really good idea to get people to drink water first, or even give them electrolytes. I mean, whatever kind. I mean, I have different kinds. This one is on my desk at the moment. I use powdered ones. I use Celtic salt. This one is a nice one in South Africa. It's called Water Life. It's an oxygen product because it's got your minerals in drops, and it goes a really long way, and it's really reasonable. You've got to try all the
Yes.
different kinds.
Yeah, thank you.
Makes a big difference, but try and let us know. Okay.
All right. Thank you so
Mel,
much.
Yes.
sorry. Can you just ask a question on, and Alison, I don't know if you're still there, but Alison was asking me about, are there any stories about cerebral palsy?
Yes, there are. So if you go
Complicated.
onto YouTube and you put in, well, it used to be, I say used to be because you just never know because of compliance what's been removed, because we're not allowed to make any claims. But there were some incredible stories with cerebral palsy.
Okay.
So I would look there as a, if you go there, you put in LifeWave and you put cerebral palsy and you'll probably find something, but I have seen
Yeah,
great
I couldn't
results.
find any when I looked yesterday or whenever it was.
But it could be because of
But
compliance.
okay.
Because of it that
I mean,
I over the years had seen a lot, and for me it was something that was quite interesting because my cousin has cerebral palsy and she's in a wheelchair, and so it was something that I had looked at in the beginning, but of course she didn't think that it was something that would really work because she's a bit conservative.
Oh, so she hasn't tried it at all.
No, so she hasn't tried patching, which is a pity, but family are probably the ones who are never going to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. But theoretically, I think it should make a difference because you're working on all the connective tissues, you're working on the collagen and so on. So,
No,
even
absolutely,
if it,
absolutely.
in some ways, it must make things a bit easier, I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway.
And I always say, if you're thinking that somebody has whatever condition and that there's a specific issue you want to work on and you're not seeing a result with it, persevere because you just don't know what the body is healing first.
Yeah.
And I think that's always so important, is that often what we see in blood tests. I mean, it's such a sweet story. I met a delightful 95-year-old 2 Saturdays ago. I did a presentation at Bonnie's house. And this lady, Inga, she kept interrupting everybody, which was quite interesting. But I mean, she's very positive about the patches. She sent lots of people to Bonnie. And she took great delight in telling us that they couldn't control her blood glucose despite being on 2 medications. Her levels were 9 point something, and now they were down to 6 point something. And her doctor's taken off one of her medications and still staying there. And I'm 95, well, no, 85. I'm 85, and I like to eat things I shouldn't, like sweets and cakes, even though I'm diabetic. And it doesn't impact my blood glucose now, even though I'm down to one medication, and she only gets up 3 times a night now to go to the toilet instead of 6. And her ankles were swollen and they're not. And somebody told her she looks 10 years younger. And then the lady she came with, it was her mother who told her she looked 10 years younger because she went to visit her in the frail care, said her whole face used to be incredibly puffy and swollen and it's all come down. And I mean, she was just delightful. But it was so funny because she kept having her say about whatever was going on, but in such a positive way because it's changed everything for her. So
Amazing.
just loved it.
Yay.
Anyway. All right, everybody.
Thank you,
So nice
Merle.
to see you all on the call, and thank you for spending time with us. And thank you, Mandi. It was
Welcome.
great.
Thanks,
And
everybody. Nice to meet you all.
nice to meet
Thank
everybody.
you, both of you. Great. Well done,
Okay.
all of you.
Bye, everyone. Alison,
Thank
nice to
you.
see you. I'm glad you
Thank
turned
you for
your
your
camera on. It's always
time,
lovely to
ladies.
see faces.
Great.
And
Okay.
actually, your
Thank
stories
you.
are lovely. And Connie, so nice to meet you. And I can't wait to hear how your finger's doing. Because if it's only 2 weeks in and it's already much better, I can't wait.
Way better. I'm also very excited and looking forward to more results.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, ladies, for your
Fabulous.
time.
Pleasure. Night,
Thank
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good
Bye.
night.
Thank you. Bye.